2001 year in review continues with the July 2nd and July 9th editions of WWF Raw is War. Let's talk about the July 2nd, 2001. This episode is what is the fate of the WCW, what it's going to be. What is this? This whole episode is very important because this is exactly what the WCW will be. If it's successful, can WCW survive on its own as a brand? Because that was the intention, to be its actual brand. Or is it going to be a storyline in which WCW guys will interact with WWF guys and we have a true invasion? So we'll see what we actually get here. Are they going to be a brand, or is this going to be an angle? And what is the repercussions of this show's going to be? If this show's a flop, well, likely the invasion's going to be a flop. Unfortunately, we all know what happened. This show sucked. So let's talk about it. But did everything suck about this show? Well, let's get to it. Live from Tacoma, Washington, July 2nd, Raw is War is here in 2001. The main event is announced from Shane McMahon because somehow he managed to get the last 20 minutes. He gets the last segment of Raw. It's Booker T versus Buff Bagwell for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Now, why is Buff Bagwell in this match? Well, you know, it's Buff Bagwell. Who the fuck cares about Buff Bagwell? He was like a B. He was like a mid-Carter at best. You know, he was so fucking annoying and so awful. But if you remember from the simulcast Raw, when they were doing that whole survey, when Vince McMahon became Scott Hall and did a survey, if you remembered right, Buff Bagwell got the second biggest pop. Even a bigger pop than Booker T did. So maybe that carried over, and maybe that's why he got this match. Anyways, you have Vince McMahon, you have Steve Austin, you have Kurt Angle, and they are Kurt Angle and Steve Austin. They're fighting each other over Vince McMahon's affection, over his respect. It's kind of like two brothers fighting over which one of them Dad loves more. You know, no, I'm Daddy's favorite. No, I'm Daddy's favorite. I'm Daddy's favorite. He loves me more. He takes me to the baseball games. He don't care about you. You know, no, I'm the smarter one. You know, he loves me more because I'm the A student. You're just some stupid athlete. You know, stupid shit like that. That siblings fight. Siblings fight over their parents' affection. That's basically what the segment is. So Shane, yada yada yada. Let's get to his first match. The first match on the show was Undertaker versus Albert in an Intercontinental title match. Stupid Undertaker is even more stupid in this time period because, you know, the person that is being, his wife, who is being stalked by Diamond Dallas Page, is out there with him. So, you know, I'm not understanding why she's out there with him, but I digress. This match ends in interferences. It has interferences when DDP comes out, hits a diamond cutter out of nowhere, and beats the crap out of Undertaker. Then, you know, this is exactly why Undertaker's a retard. Because you have Sarah out there, and now she's vulnerable. Now, you know, now DDP can do whatever he wants. Now he can go over there and grab her. But Sarah actually has a little backup plan. Yeah, apparently they thought this one through. It was a bait and switch type of deal. It was a trap. You know, because I guess Undertaker knew that DDP would come out there and interfere in the match, try to take Sarah away from him, and then that's why they have Kane to appear and stopping Diamond Dallas Page from kidnapping Sarah. So you have Kane out there stopping DDP, and it's, haha, we got one over on DDP. So Undertaker looks stupid. DDP looks weak, but I guess Undertaker's just acting stupid. I don't get it. Albert is still interrupting in this match. He's still like a part of this confrontation. He doesn't go off to the back. He's still like a part of this. He gets double chokeslam for for his troubles. And then Diamond Dallas Page slithers onto the back. And he's still got the diamond cutter in him. So in the end, in this segment, nobody looked good. Everybody looked stupid, and it was a waste of time. Next, Crash and Molly Holly have a match. Next, Sky 2 Hottie into Jerry was actually an okay match. A nice little reversal here. A nice little to Jerry gets himself out of the worm by spitting the green mist as he was coming down on the worm. Pretty cool. Then we get to the segment where the APA is basically trying to play Clue. They're trying to find out who allowed the WCW guys, who allowed Shane, who allowed Sean O'Haire and Palumbo, who allowed Booker T in Madison Square Garden, who allowed which, because it has to be a mold, which WWF superstar. We also see Test and Booker T interact, and Booker T promising Test a future World Heavyweight title match. So this leaves APA on this wild goose chase. They think that Test is the person that is the mold, which I'll talk about a little later. So we had the Dudley Boys and Jericho. Dudley Boys, William Regal just says, smash him through a table. That's all I want. And Dudley Boys say, hello, that's all you have to ask for. Christian and X-Pac. Edge accidentally costs Christian his match, and this goes on. So, APA and the entire WWF locker room, they interfere in this match with Rhino and Test. They then gain up on Test and beat the shit out of Test, thinking he's the mold. Well, later on, they find out he's not the mold. Next, we have Big Show, Trish, Jeff, and Matt and Lita, Matt and Jeff Hardy, Big Show, Trish, whatever the fuck. Let's get to the main event. You have Booker T, you have Buff Bagwell, WCW World Heavyweight Championship on the line, Tacoma, Washington. And this is where it would be decided. The fate of what the WCW will be lies in this segment. And they go all out. They have WCW aprons, WCW graphics. They have WCW announcers. They pull out Arn Anderson. They pull out Scott Hudson. I wish Tony Schiavone was out there. They have Stacy Keibler and her long-ass hot legs. They have a WCW ref, Nick Patrick, that piece of shit. They have Buff Bagwell, Booker T, WCW World Championship. Unfortunately, Vince McMahon wasn't smart enough to tell them, hey, yo, since we're going all the way out with WCW, why don't you actually treat this like this is a WCW match? See, what people don't really understand, there's a difference between WCW and WWF. If you ever notice, entrances especially, when a guy like Buff Bagwell comes out, and he talked about this later on, they told Buff Bagwell, don't talk directly to the camera. Don't talk directly to the camera. That's his whole shtick. He comes out, he does this, and he talks to the camera right up in its face like this. I'm Buff Daddy. I'm Buff. I'm the stuff, and the girls can't get enough. I mean, that's his whole shtick. That's what most WCW guys do. They go right up to the camera and they talk. I'm the shit, I'm telling you. That is taken away. That really hurts Buff Bagwell. But what really hurts this match even more so, it's not the fact that this is a bad match. It's actually a better match than I remembered it being, or at least thought it was. The problem with this match is that it's in Tacoma, Washington, in a place where you have this WWF, pro-WWF audience that really don't give a shit about Booker T or Buff Bagwell because they're programmed to do so. You have programmed WWF fans to hate and bitch and moan and cry and everything that is WCW. You have programmed your show, your audience, to hate everything that is WCW. Think of the Billionaire Ted skits. Think of the way they portray, Even Ric Flair, the real world's champion. Think of the way they portray, all the guys, you know, they're programmed to hate these guys. So when Booker T's coming out there to try to get some sympathy, he can't get it. He can't get that ovation because the WWF is programmed for its audience to hate WCW. It's in Tacoma, Washington, which is not a city known for big-time WCW wrestling. This match sucked. It wasn't that bad of a match, but as I said, the fans hated it. Steve Austin and Kurt Angle come out there to beat the shit out of Booker T. Buff Bagwell joins in because reasons. The announcers try to play off like Buff Bagwell has turned to the WWF. So they kick Booker T out. And then Steve Austin and Kurt Angle look at each other as like, who the fuck's this guy? And they kick his ass out. And they fire Buff Bagwell. I mean, they might as well have had. And that ends. Actually, that's not the end. I completely forgot that the entire time Torrie Wilson is seducing Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon is trying in every way possible to have sex with Torrie Wilson. So in the end, there's this big segment where Vince is in the shower with Torrie, and Steve Austin interrupts him. That's funny. But then they're in the laundry room. And you have Steve Austin. You have Vince. You have Torrie Wilson. Torrie Wilson undresses Vince. I'm ready, Torrie. Come on, Torrie, thinking she's about to go down and suck his cock. Instead, in waltz in Linda McMahon, catches him in the act. Vince McMahon falls over, and there you go. At least we didn't get to see his old ass, and at least we didn't see his gigantic grapefruits. So, there you have it. APA plays Clue. Undertaker's retarded. Vince McMahon is a pervert, is trying to have sex with Torrie Wilson, and then the WCW guys get shitted all over. This is one of the worst episodes of Monday Night Raw in history. An F. A horrible Raw. And that solidifies what WCW is going to be. Trash. Because now you played off these guys as they're jabronis, as they're retarded, they're idiots. They can't get sympathy. Because Booker T was supposed to be a baby face. They were supposed to be baby faces and heel working together. WCW was also supposed to get its own brand. And Booker T was supposed to be the face of this company. The face of the brand. And then that's where we began making Booker T look foolish. So Booker T has become a heel. So let's move on to the July 9th edition of Raw is War. Live from Atlanta, Georgia in the Phillips Arena, we have Raw is War, July 9th. They did this big video package replaying last week and SmackDown. Now DDP looks like he's turned on Shane McMahon. So they have this match between DDP and Shane. And Undertaker, the retard that he is, comes out with Sarah, the person who is being stalked, and she's in the ring beside Undertaker with their stalker. And they said, you know what? We have unfinished business. I want DDP. So we have Undertaker versus DDP. Shane McMahon, he attacks Undertaker. It was all a ruse to begin with. Ha 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 ha. We got one over on you. So then DDP and Undertaker, they have this match. Undertaker beats the shit out of DDP. Shane McMahon comes in, beats the shit out of Undertaker. The match ends. It's supposed to be a no DQ match, but it just ends. Shane McMahon and DDP beat the shit out of Undertaker. And then DDP hits a diamond cutter on Sarah. And Undertaker looks like a fucking retard in the entire event. Because why? Because he has brought his wife out, who is being stalked with the stalker who's right there. There is absolutely nothing stopping DDP from taking Sarah away from him once when he's down and out. Oh my God. Why can't he just leave Sarah in the back with Kane, where she's protected, where she is safe? And why is Sarah getting in the ring to help out The Undertaker? She's retarded too. Retarded. Dudley Boys Acolytes Tag Team titles. Spike Dudley cost Dudley Boys the tag titles. APA are your new tag titles holders. Rhino Albert next. Jeff Hardy, Big Show, whatever. Okay, we get the best. We get a nice little kiss scene between Jeff Hardy and Trish Stratus. I don't know what was always up with that. You know, you had Jeff and Trish. They teased it here, and they also teased it much later on in 2003, and maybe a little later on in 2006, perhaps. I don't remember. I don't know what was the deal with that. But we get the funniest scene. We get Kurt Angle and Steve Austin, Vince McMahon, Deborah, and Kurt Angle has presents for Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. So they open up their presents, and they have badges. You get these badges. Hilarity. You know, fortunately for Steve Austin, he would bring that badge back, or at least a new badge, and he'd be the sheriff. Only he could get that shit over. Kurt Angle, he has his yippee-ki-yay little cowboy hat on. They have cowboy hat. It's announced that we're going to get Kurt Angle versus Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. So Kurt Angle goes to the back with Booker T. Booker T calls him out looking like he's a fucking geek with that stupid little cowboy hat. And Kurt Angle says, well, yippee-ki-yay, mother huffer. So they have their match. Booker T and Angle ends in a schmoz. Whatever. Next, Mike Awesome, Lance Storm, Kane, Jericho. This is what this show is really most about. So you have this match. And then all of a sudden, you see Rob Van Dam. You see Tommy Dreamer. They join Mike Awesome and Lance Storm. They beat the shit out of the WWF. They beat the shit out of Kane and Jericho. And then all of a sudden, out comes Taz. Out comes Raven. Out comes the Dudley Boys. Out comes Just Incredible. And you're thinking, ooh, these WWF guys, they're staying up for these guys. They're staying up for Kane and Jericho. But what people are now realizing is, shit, these guys are from ECW. They are ECW alumni. They then turn their back and they join in on the beating, and they beat the shit out of Kane and Jericho. Then Paul Heyman jumps into the ring and says, this invasion has gone to the extreme. And there you have it. You have the best segment of the entire invasion angle. The entire invasion angle. So now you have 10 ECW guys. Six guys who defected from WWF. 2 guys who defected from WCW. Awesome shit. Of course, they have to ruin it. And ruin it they will. So they have this match. They have the main event. You have 10 ECW guys versus the 10. You have 5 WCW guys and 5 WWF guys. They said for one night only, Vince and Shane, WCW and WWF, together for one time only, will join forces to take out ECW right from the start. Of course, Shane McMahon has other plans. It was all rouge. Because now, the WCW guys and WWF guys, they fight each other. They can't get along. Then the ECW guys jump in. And it looks like the ECW guys are going to beat the shit out of WCW guys, right? They don't. Instead, those 5 WCW guys and the 10 ECW guys beat the shit out of the 5 WWF guys. And then you see Shane and Paul Heyman hugging, and now they say that WCW and ECW are now enemies. They're now friends with one common enemy. They are now an alliance. The enemy of my enemy is now my friend. So Vince McMahon, the face he has, it's unbelievable. So this is the other greatest segment of all time. And it looks like Raw is going to have some promising invasion now. Okay, you can't get the WCW stars. You can't get the big name WCW stars. Okay, let's get the ECW guys in there. Okay, let's try to get the ECW guys in there and make up for the lack of WCW stars. Maybe we can still make this happen. Maybe this can still be salvageable. Maybe this can still be saved. All is good. All is hopeful. Until the last 15 seconds, where Shane McMahon announces there's a new owner of ECW. So Vince is out there. Who's this owner? Out comes Stephanie McMahon. And Stephanie McMahon hugs Shane. And now, Stephanie's in charge of ECW. And everything about the last two segments, all of that is now completely useless. It's bullshit now. Because now it's not about Booker T. It's not about the ECW guys. It's not about defectors. It's not about even takeovers. Now, this whole invasion is about the McMahons and their long, lustrous storyline of how the kids are going to take over the business. Overall, July 9th, Raw is War is a little better than July 2nd. You have two really damn good segments, a lot more promising, a lot more salvageable moments. You think, well, maybe it could be salvaged, maybe it could be saved. But man, you have the retardedness of Undertaker. You have then you had the last 15 seconds. You know, it was okay with Shane buying WCW. It worked. It was cool. It was awesome. But having Stephanie buy ECW, it's kind of like having a father and son, father and son bonding together, they're bonding together, but then you have the daughter, and she wants in on it. She wants in on this bonding. And, well, Dad, you have the WWF. Bro, you have WCW. I want in on this. And then they look at each other and like, oh, okay, well, you can have ECW. You want in on the fun? Okay. You can join us. You can have ECW. Little sister gets on in the nice little rivalry between father and son. Oh, joy. The invasion is now just about the McMahons. Boy, howdy. July 9th sucked too. I give it an F as well. Two bad back-to-back Raws, and I refuse to review more Raws. Catch you next time for Invasion. Oh, my God.